Hi.
Introducing National Streaming Sports, live and on-demand sports talk programming that you can access 24/7. For the premier sports talk experience, tap into our Roku channel. Start your mornings with Mac and Jack covering all the weekend sports action. Then pour a cup and enjoy all the sports you can drink on the Coffee and Sports podcast. At midday, talk sports from east to west on the Coast to Coast podcast. Followed at night by some hot girl talk with Prim and Proper Sports featuring Sonia Pearson. Talk boxing on the Gloved Fist. Yankee fans tune in for Start Spreading the News. And there's more on the College Sports Huddle and Sports Scope with Robert Butler. There are 20 podcasts in all and 70 weekly shows giving us a 3.4-star viewer rating. To find us on Roku TV, search for National Streaming Sports on the Roku search bar. Click on the logo and you're in. National Streaming Sports, live and on-demand sports talk for America.
All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Prim and Proper Sports, Friday Night with the Fellas. I am here on this is our first Friday of June with Jay Train, Nate the Great, B. Strilla. Good evening, gentlemen. I hope you guys are doing well today.
Yes, doing well.
Awesome
Hope you all
sauce.
too.
Yeah, awesome sauce. Definitely make sure you guys download the Roku app and follow us live for sports 24/7 without the cost of cable. Shout out to the Elite Sports and Entertainment Network. Shout out to the Huddle Sports Network. We'll be giving them their due commercial at the halfway point of our show today. And thank you, before we go any further, thank you so much for B. Strilla and my audience from yesterday, our debut show, the No BS show. Rave reviews, lots of shares. I want to thank everybody. B. Strilla wants to thank everybody for the support. That's our new show coming out 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursdays. And we'll have some guests on there momentarily. But right now, a great start to our show. So we're super excited about that. Let me grab some of these comments. Monkey wanted to make sure that he got the first comment. So as soon as this was announced, good evening to you, Monkey, of course. Hope you're having a great day. You said you're not, so hopefully it gets better now. Yes, I am from North Carolina and I live in Georgia. I guess that would make me a Carolina peach. Thanks so much.
Never heard of that.
Always great for that. I mean, I have a little more fuzz, I guess, now. And so, of course, what's up to the Mad Yenzer? Hello to you. And you guys also make sure you check out the merch that the Huddle Sports Network has. There's a link here in the comments. Y'all, let's start off with the first question. The first statement. The Pacers, you guys, that freaking jumper at the last minute, leaving 0.3 seconds on the clock. I was absolutely impressed. And I'm going to tell you, this is going to be not a gentleman's sweep. I think these games are going to go all the way up to game 6. And the Pacers will not be laying down. I'm sure everybody here has on the platform had an opportunity to look at that game. So I'm going to let you guys go, and I'll digress at this moment.
I'll go last. I shall go first.
Go ahead, James.
Yeah, nobody on this panel thought that at first, Sonya. Yeah, I'm glad you changed it. No. I got receipts. I got receipts.
Not be no gentleman's sweep. I said that.
I got receipts.
Okay, we're gonna find the clip.
Yes. Find the clip.
Because
find the clip for Wednesday night.
I might have said 5, but you guys all okay. You know what? Go ahead and make your comment, sir. I'm pulling the receipts as we speak.
The no BS show is I'm pulling BS. I'm pulling BS. I'm telling you, look, these guys had 25 turnovers, the Pacers. 25 turnovers, never led the game at all until they won the game with 0.3 of a second. And I got news for the OKC fans. I'm going to tell you right now, if I'm you, I'm kind of afraid. I'm alarmed because there's no way you're supposed to lose a game when you're winning the whole time around. You're up 15 points in the fourth quarter, and you let them boys come back. And again, 25 turnovers in that game. That tells me that they have a good defense for Indiana, and also they have a resiliency. And as much as you don't want to call him a superstar, I'm going to say Halliburton is kind of that. Even though he had 14 points, he shot the clutch shot, and he's been doing it all playoffs. He did it against somebody that's sitting next to me, right next to his team. He don't want to admit it, but somebody got sour grapes in this panel. But you got to give props when props is due. I'm just telling you, don't be surprised if they win. I'm still picking OKC in 7, but it's going 7. But I won't be surprised if the Pacers win this series.
Did you tell us? Well, did you say it was going to be 7? I thought you said 5 or 6 before.
Go pull the yesterday. I said 7 yesterday. I said 7 and Sunday too.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. James, you're pretty honest all the time, so I'm not even going to pull no receipts because I believe you. B. Strilla, since Nate said he's going last.
We've seen this before. OKC. Okay, all that's good and great. They're going to win the next 4. I'm not even worried about it.
Yeah.
We've seen this all the time. This is a young team. They do this. They get overconfident, and they think they're going to win, going out of style. And sometimes some teams got to put them in their place. Hey, we are an NBA team. We're here to compete.
Hold on one second. Hold on. Let me go get my Prilosec because that cup is making me get ass. That's why he going with the stuff. That little garbage team. Okay, we'll get there in a minute.
Give him his flowers. They know they're gonna suck this year. Give him his flowers.
Yeah, that's all he do is drinking the tea.
Nate, hold on, Nate. You throwing some shots again, and you still ain't got to the Super Bowl yet. We got one. We got one.
One's hopefully coming. That's all I can say.
Go ahead, Strilla. We're gonna get to
anyway.
It's a tick.
Like I said, it was just overcome. I'm sure you ever see the Oklahoma Thunder have only lost back-to-back games twice this season. And when they came back after those 2 losses, mostly when they come back after a loss, they beat the crap out of the next team. I mean, they destroy them. So that's what I'm expecting to see. I'm like, hey, oops, my bad. We got complacent. Let's go. So I think that's why I'm going to think that they're winning that. And they're still winning it in 5. I think they're going to win the next 4. They're going to sweep them in the next 4.
So this is their only win, basically?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's what I feel.
Yes, Nathan.
All right. So, I'll die on the hill because I said it was going to be a sweep. So I'll eat crow a little bit on that. It could still be a gentleman's sweep because I agree with B. Like, they could literally win the next 4 games. There's no doubt in my mind that this team is really, really good. The reality is with the Thunder is 2 things that really caught my eye. First off, they didn't shoot the ball well. The Pacers shot a better percentage for the game. They missed a lot of easy baskets at the rim. They missed a lot of wide open shots. I would say that the rust was probably more than it was for the Pacers. The Pacers definitely looked like they were just refreshed and ready to go. Thunder had some rust because they looked like they hadn't played for a week. So, Shea did his thing. I don't know where J-Dub is. I don't know where Chet was.
Hold up. Why are you even talking, Steve-O? Okay, I know you're a San Francisco fan, but that's just uncalled for, okay?
No, I'm not butthurt, monkey. Listen. The Pacers are a good team. The Thunder are the youngest team in the playoffs. All right, that's facts. Second of all, the Thunder have never been in close games.
Like
they have been blowing out their opponents by almost a margin of 10 points a game.
Blown out.
But 10 points is a lot in the NBA. Like that is a lot, So I mean, like they haven't been in close games. So the Thunder are learning on the fly how to win and how to lose, And I think that they have a closer in Halliburton. He's a good player. Again, he didn't show up the whole game. He made one shot really that was the big factor from an offensive standpoint. I mean, he did his assists, he did his rebounds, but I mean, he really was a no factor the whole game.
The whole team, the whole starting five had double digits.
And that's fine. So that proves my point that he's not a superstar, because if you're talking about the whole team, he didn't even dominate the game.
Well, I mean, my point is he's had moments where he's had 30-plus games and lighten it up. You don't have to light it up every night.
He's also had games where he's had less than 10 points too.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, let's if we want to talk about points, OKC, my man had 38 points. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they let him shoot. And when it mattered most, he shot his last shot and missed. Mm-hmm. And Halliburton shot his last shot and made it, and they won the game. Ultimately, what matters.
This is not Halliburton's first time doing
something. Of course not. Absolutely.
He actually joins LeBron, and there was another player, I can't remember off the rip, amongst being Jordan, the closer for these games. Yeah. This was a dramatic finish, y'all, that nobody really predicted. 0.3 seconds is insane. They couldn't even inbound the ball on the last possession.
And the reality,
and try to shoot it from the outside. The Indiana mounted an incredible comeback in the fourth quarter, y'all. I mean, that deficit was 15 points at one point, and this is the fifth time in the postseason that the Pacers have come back from a 15-point deficit or more. So we've seen them literally set the pace, no pun intended. You guys have heard me say that. Set the pace for how to win. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, of course, 38 freaking points. But the Pacers had Siakam. You guys know he was the MVP for the Eastern Finals. Strong performance, 19 points, 10 rebounds. And then, of course, hallelujah, Mr. Halliburton himself, 14 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists, along with that game shutdown. The fact that there was a turnover battle between both of these two teams is what this came down to. The Pacers won despite having the higher amount of turnovers, 24, compared to the Thunder only having 6. That's what's crazy about it. The stats of the turnovers do not line up.
But they were only up by 10 points with all those turnovers in the first half. That was a telling sign right there. Because if you're forcing the ball a turnover that high of a clip, you should be up by at least 20 points.
And that tells me we should give credit to Indiana's defense.
Sure, yeah, defense. Yeah. But here's the thing that I think is the biggest thing for me in this series so far. It's the coaching. Like Rick Carlisle's been a championship head coach. Dagnall has never been in the finals, and he showed it. Because the thing is that if you look at when the game started, Hartenstein wasn't even in the starting lineup. You started Case and Wallace. You don't make adjustments like that when you win 80 games in a season. Like, you just don't do that. You play your strengths and what got you there. And Dagnall, he caved a little bit. He sort of came to the pressure of whatever he heard or whatever he thought. And I think he's going to go back to the same lineup that he did before, because that was not the right lineup to go. On top of that, if you look at the end of the game, why do you not double team Halliburton? Why do you not try to take the ball out of his hands and make somebody else beat you on that last shot? You know how good he is. Why are you not double teaming him and getting the ball out of his hands? That makes no sense to me at all. I think everybody and their mother knew that Halliburton was going to make that shot, because that's what he does. And you give him enough space. Like Case and Wallace, like that was an easy shot. Like Case.
Yeah, but you got to look at the whole play before he even got to Halliburton's. It was an excellent play.
They still should double team him.
Oh boy, you are true. He is true and true a Knicks fan, and he is hurt. Monkey, you are right. You are absolutely right.
He never lived in New York. That's the thing. I don't even know why he's a fan.
I'm gonna shut J Train down for this one. No,
don't shut me down. Don't shut me down.
No.
I got receipts on you. I got receipts on you. I got receipts on you.
Hang on,
I got
guys.
receipts on you.
Let me hang on, guys. Just for one moment, let me wish Dominic a happy birthday. Miss Miller, thanks for joining me tonight. She says she's Miss Miller, the Andrew Miller profile, of course, saying today is Dominic's birthday. So happy birthday, Dominic. Thanks for spending your birthday with us tonight. Now OKC didn't have time for the defense. Okay, J Train, you may now unleash J Train.
I have no dog in this fight. I'm very objective about the game. I don't care about any one of the teams. No, you're not. You're not objective about it. You're not being objective about the game. No, you're not, man. Come on.
How the hell am I not being objective about it?
Because you're a Knicks fan. Because you're a Knicks fan. That's why. I've been hearing everything.
What happens?
Oh man, I've been holding my tongue for the past week, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna let you. No, come on, man, no.
Okay, no.
I've been holding my tongue for the past week.
I'm gonna school you right now, and what happened?
Don't school me. Don't school me. Your team, the one got schooled. Your team, the one got schooled, and you mad about it. You mad about it.
Why do I? They're not in the finals. Who cares?
Oh my God.
I'm gonna tell you.
You mad about it. You mad about it.
No, I'm mad at you.
Monkey. I'm waiting on Monkey to come back. Monkey said it himself. I agree. Monkey said it himself.
J Train said he been holding his tongue in the chat all
Monkey see, Monkey do. I'm saying I'm following right behind him.
Listen. I'm gonna tell you right now. It's simple facts. If Halliburton
J Train got that bourbon special.
If Halliburton has the ball in his hands, you take the ball out of his hands. They could have done that. Caruso was right there for the double team. He slided back over because he thought Siakam was going down low. They had help defense on the inside of the interior.
I forgot my let somebody else beat that. I'll be right back. I'm going to get me some popcorn for real. I'll be right back.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Okay.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
But my point is that that's the lack of experience that Dagnall has. Because I guarantee you, a veteran coach, hell, even Tibbs would have done the same thing. He would have took the ball out of Halliburton's hands and he would have made somebody else beat him.
But he didn't.
Okay.
Tibbs not only not sitting at home, he's sitting at home with a pink slip.
I got my popcorn, guys. I got my smart pop here. But I didn't know it was this kind of party. The white cheddar version is the best. I'm so excited. This is the best show ever.
I am a Knicks fan, but I'm a basketball fan. I've been watching basketball since I was at 99. Like I study the game, I watch the game. I know what I see. And what I saw is that a coach did not double team the best player, the clutch player, to take the ball out of his hands. It's just simple. It's simple common sense. Like I've even coached basketball, and I will tell you, if somebody is that hot, I'm telling my guys, take the ball out of his hands at any means necessary.
What do you mean he was hot? He wasn't hot. You said he only had 14 points.
He's a clutch player in these playoffs. That's what I mean hot. Like
this episode brought to you by Smart Food White Cheddar Popcorn.
Again,
only 7 carbohydrates and 80 calories.
But me being a Knicks fan has nothing to do with what I'm saying. I'm not hating Halliburton by no means.
You say he's just a good player. He's a little bit more than a good player. I'm gonna say this again. OKC fans, beware out there. Again, those boys had 25 turnovers and still came back and won a game. They didn't lead not once, except the one time at the end. I just like, wow. And again, and what you know what sounds off to me is the silence. The silence. You've been talking trash in the comments, in our comments all day. I didn't hear nothing last night. I didn't hear nothing last night, none today. I didn't hear nothing. When that game was over, all I heard was millions of cricket legs. That's all I heard. That's all I heard was cricket legs. I didn't hear nothing.
I don't care. That's not my team. I watched the game objectively.
But you talked a lot of trash about him, though. You did talk a lot of trash about him.
What you're the man that receives.
Pull up. I got it. I'm on my phone. We can look at it later, but I'm just telling you. Sonya, you know, because both of y'all were chiming in. I'm just saying. But, I see shit, man. You know. Come on, man.
I mean, I don't know what you're saying as far as hating, man. Like,
I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying.
Well, pull it up and let's talk about it. Shoot, I'm here. Let's go.
Come on. Hey, I got the stage right here, so get me the stage. I'm just saying, my man. Look, I'm just saying. I listened. I heard it. I was like, okay, I'll be quiet. But I just know I'm being objective. I'm not being what Monkey said. I'm not gonna say what Monkey said, but you know what he said, and I happen to agree a little bit.
That was great. That was exciting.
Love you, Nate.
I think now is a good time to take about commercial. We'll be right back, guys. Let's give everybody a breather.
Already? Damn.
Let's give everybody a breather. We'll be back. You guys stay tuned. More fun, more screams, more laughs, more popcorn.
Yeah, yo, it's game time. Ain't no messing around. Huddle Sports Network, the best in town. From NFL rumors to the latest trends, we got all your sports. Just tune in, my friends. Catch us on Roku, Fire Stick, take your pick. Facebook, YouTube, where the action's slick. Daily shows that drop like a bomb. From 10 to 11, it's Ken and Ken. Stay calm. Huddle up, catch the vibe, feel the rush. Get your news, get your fills in the clutch. Over 27 podcasts, we breaking it down. Join the team, Huddle Sports, wear the crown. Live every weekday, it's how we roll. Lions Talk with Jeremy B, we taking a stroll. From 11 to 12, don't miss a beat. We break down the game, make the info sweet. The Daily Huddle Podcast, noon to 1. CST Zone, we're just having fun. Toss your doubts, we bring the facts. Tune into the Huddle.
All right, we're back. Looks like J-Train's making sure, I know your beautiful wife was like, is everything okay? J-Train, I like that a couple of times. Put a blood pressure cuff on him. What's in the cup?
It's water and some great value of the sweetener, whatever that is.
I got one myself, but it didn't have me that energetic.
That had nothing to do with it. I was just waiting. After that game last night, I said, oh, yeah, I'm going to just hold this in. I had a good day at work. And
you hadn't said nothing in the chat all day. I was like, is Jay
I was waiting on somebody to say something. I was going to respond, but nobody. I was like, oh, man, the crickets are chirping.
There's a line for James.
Man.
Commercial did not kill the momentum. Want a little break. What's up, Go Pack? Go all day. How you doing? All right. So game 2 coming up. They got a couple days of a break. They're going to be playing again tomorrow. Who y'all got?
Sunday. They play Sunday.
Okay.
Sunday. Excuse me.
Oh, it is Sunday. Okay.
Today's Friday. Yeah. Sunday. Who you guys got?
OKC.
Nobody.
I even think OKC. I think OKC is going to win this game too.
Not only are they going to win, they're going to probably win by about 30 or 40 points.
Well, keep this receipt. I'm going for the Pacers 2 in a row. They got to get ahead. They got to get ahead of it. They got to get ahead of it to stay ahead of it. They can't release that momentum and just have, like Shrilla said, that lucky game, and they just happen to luck up. They got to come out. They cannot allow another 15-point deficit because I don't think they're going to have it in them to catch up this next time.
Yeah, one thing I will agree with Nate about is that the coach, that Carlisle, he made adjustments. He changed out 5 players, so he knew how to make adjustments. And so I'm not going to say that they were lucky. I just think that they have a really good coach, and he allowed them to capitalize on their changes. And they were down 15 points, and again in the fourth quarter, and they had 46% shooting on the 3-point line, and they had 6 of 10 in the fourth quarter. So that was just impressive. But that's just what they've been doing all playoffs, all postseason.
They have. And I think one thing I'll take away from this series, or just playoffs in general, is I've watched basketball, like I said, since '99, a long time. I have never seen.
We heard you say that before.
Right. I know. I'm repeating it.
We were all grown in '99, Nate. How old were you in '99?
Not that old.
He throwing shots. We both.
I'm just saying, not that old. But what I'm saying is, I have never seen so many blown leads in games. Like, you're talking double-digit leads in playoffs. Like, and the facts show it, because this last game, it was like 0 and 182 when you're leading by that many points.
Turnovers, Steve-O.
Like, that's insane. Like, I don't know what it is about this season. Maybe it is a team of destiny in the Pacers, but I have never seen so many blown leads by multiple teams. The Knicks, the Cavs, the Thunder. You know,
and you said it best. You said this was one of the least watched series.
The Celtics blew leads to the Knicks
twice. Yeah.
Everybody in this playoffs blew a lead.
Yeah, but
and that's why nobody's paying attention, because they look at the games as a 20-point deficit and they turn the game off. And then by some miracle, I happen to be watching the last few seconds because I just knew that game was over. And then, like J Train says, I don't have a dog or a cat in the fight, but this is how I like to watch things. If my team is eliminated by somebody, I watch that next team to see how they're going to play, because if they play and they're great, then that means I got beat by the great. If they play and they're horrible, then that means, okay, I'm glad you're out. That's what you get. You barely advance one step past my team.
Yeah.
So which one is it for you, Nate? Because they beat your Knicks, folding them up like lawn chairs, folded them up like folded sheets in a department store, and packaged them up.
All right, calm down. It wasn't that bad. Okay? I mean, listen. The Knicks ran into a buzzsaw with the Pacers. There's no doubt about that. I think my friend was telling me about this. He thinks that a lot of the energy was exerted going against the Celtics, and I agree, because the Celtics were the mountain that you had to climb, and by the time you climbed that mountain, you were exhausted. And then going into the Pacers, that's a different matchup that they just don't fit well with, you know. And so I just think that the Pacers got the best of them, you know. But let's be real, like, if that game one shot falls off the rim and doesn't go in, we're talking game 7 in New York, and who knows what's going to happen, you know. So I mean, it literally was a luck of the bounce that ball literally fell right in. Like I said, some divine intervention or something like that with the Pacers. Maybe it's Jim Irsay putting up the love for the Indiana, you know, to win it all. I don't know. The more I think about it, this team seems like a team of destiny, because it just, because to get to this point, you have to have a lot of things happen for you. Some luck, some skill, but also too, you know, just situations have to happen for you. Like the fact that they were 2-0 against the Cavs on the road, 2-0 against the Knicks on the road. You don't see that. You don't see that in the modern NBA anymore. So I'm just thinking that maybe it's just their time. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, Shrilly, you've been kind of quiet. I mean, now that everything's died down, what were your thoughts?
Enjoying it. That's well, I'm gonna tell you, and I'll never say back down, because I didn't want the Knicks to beat the Pacers, because I had the Knicks beat the Pistons. So after the Knicks, so that's how I am. That's the fan I am. Okay, but I mean, Indiana is a very good team. They are. Game 1 was probably one of those games that it might have been a Holy Spirit on their side, because I mean, 24 turnovers, and Oklahoma City didn't turn the ball over that much at all, and the defense was there. They played their game. And SPG, you know, Shea Butter wasn't Shea Butter at the end.
Yeah, he was dried out.
He was Shea Clank.
Yeah.
and he missed the one shot.
And Halliburton. And I don't think it was bad defense played on Halliburton at that shot. My man was on him.
Yes, exactly.
He just got a good shot. I mean, you got to give that guy his props. He's clutch.
Yes, absolutely.
So I mean, you know, 14 points, and it's kind of funny though. You look at it; he only scored 14 points, but he won the game. Yeah, Shea Butter went up there, had 38, and lost the game because he wouldn't have made that shot. The game was over.
Alex, actually, the hero of the game really was Nebhart. Nebhart's defense on Shea Gilgeous was fantastic. I think after that little toss-up where he pushed him and then he pushed him back, it kind of got pissed off Nebhart, and he took it personal. And he literally went after Shea Gilgeous because they're both Canadians. They play on the Canadian basketball team.
There's 4 Canadians in the playoffs. Right. And you guys check out my personal post where I just realized today that I had a courtside seats at the Pacers versus Hawks games last year, and Nembhard was literally right in front of me. I mean, I got so many great pictures. So I'm rolling with the Pacers, if for no other reason, just because I've seen them play in person and had.
He made a timely three, and his defense was exquisite.
Yeah, I will say this. So I don't know if you guys know or not, but Kendrick Perkins, KP, Big Perk, came out today. He, Nate, I mean, even though you've never lived in New York, probably never even visited there, but you're a Knicks fan.
Multiple times.
Okay, visiting on Zoom doesn't count. And so I'm just kidding.
I almost choked on my drink.
I know that's why I'm just kidding.
Damn.
I'm just kidding.
Go ahead.
Nate, so your Knicks are, shockingly, they got rid of Thibodeau. Let me first of all, because we haven't had you on the show since they fired him. What were your initial thoughts about hearing that? Were you shocked or kind of like, I mean, they were in the playoffs, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't shocked. I actually was kind of surprised that they did fire him because I thought after he beat the Celtics, his job was safe till next year. Mm-hmm. But this tells me that New York is trying to do it now. Like they feel like Tibbs is not the guy to get them to the championship, and I tend to agree because when you have a coach who's stuck in his ways and doesn't change his methodologies in 5 years, you don't want another year of that. It's like being married with somebody you just can't stand all their tendencies and you just want to be done with that person. Like it's like, oh, here comes another year of that same old BS I got to deal with, and I think the New York is fed up with it. Like I think the fact that he runs his players into the ground, that's a problem. The fact that he doesn't play his bench, that's a problem. The fact that he doesn't develop his young players at the GM drafts, that's a problem. The fact that his defense was terrible this year and he's supposed to be a defensive guru, that's a problem. And the fact is that his 90s style does not fit the 2025 NBA modern era. Like you have to be able to be more athletic, shoot the three at a higher clip, and you have to extend your bench and rotations. Look at the two teams in the finals. The Pacers and the Thunder, probably one of the deepest teams in the NBA. Like you can't roll 7 players or 8 players out in a game. It's just not possible. You got to play at least 10, And I just think they need a new voice. So I'm totally fine with it. Now, who we get, I don't know, But
that's funny you should say that because KP came out today, and I know J Train has a reaction because I see his face already. KP came out today. Kendrick Perkins said, you guys need to get Denver Nuggets former coach Malone in there.
He's too much like Tibbs.
On that?
But he's an old KP also said that he was upset about the fire. He said this man shouldn't have been fired.
He did.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Malone's a championship head coach, whatever, but his styles are very old school too. Like you look at the lay of the land, like Carlisle and Eric Spoelstra are probably the only old school coaches left in the NBA. Popovich is retired. All these are new, young, vibrant head coaches that have creativity and let the players play free. Like they don't play under the general anymore. That is not the NBA anymore. And so the Knicks need to go out and get a coach that does 3 things: develops players, young players, has an offensive vibrancy and more, diversity in the offense, put players in better positions. And then, of course, defense, at least makes them a willing defending team. So, I mean, like right now, the rumors have it that J Kidd is possibly the guy they're going to try to go after. And I'm totally cool with J Kidd. J Kidd's good defensively. He's good with young players. He's played for New York, so he's familiar with the city and how to handle the media and all that. Like I would love to get J Kidd.
The problem I have with that is that you're saying that Tom Thibodeau was supposed to be a guru in defense, but they were bad in defense. It's a matter of what your GM gives you. I mean, you can only do something with what you have. I mean, no, hold on. You talk. Let me finish. Brunson is a liability. I don't care how much offensive he shoots. He is a defensive liability, and there's no getting around that. And Karl Anthony Towns, where was he at? Where was he at? That cat was skinned defensively. Because he's not great defensively. He's not in game, and they traded for him. So if you're gonna blame somebody, blame the GM that traded for him. I'm not saying the GM got to have his hands tied in this too, because if anything, you're firing somebody that was ascending. He wasn't descending. He wasn't going straight. You hadn't been to the Eastern Conference Finals since 1999.
Absolutely, that part.
And so I don't get that. That totally is not warranted to be fired. I mean, you weren't good. You just weren't good at all. My man got you to the playoffs every year he was there. You got to the playoffs.
BC monkey, so not BC, so not BC.
I would tell you guys this real quick, J Train, and I'm sure you're just mid rant, so feel free to go ahead. I texted you during the break. You didn't even see the message. I was like, unleash. I'm going to say this. The Knicks have to be absolutely clown poop right now because they fired Thibodeau. Who can you get? And guess what else? Thibodeau right now is at home scratching his butt getting paid. He had just signed a contract extension last summer for 3 years that guaranteed him money through 27, 28. $30 million was what they like. Right now, he don't even need to work no more. He's chillaxing. And even with the end of this season coming up, he would have gotten $8 million additional, which was part of the original contract. So it was a 5-year deal, $40 million that he originally signed July 2020, July 25th. They knew that this team had not gone to the playoffs. Went ahead and ended up, paid him not even a year ago, last July 24th to be exact. Mm-hmm. And before a year is up, he takes them to the playoffs. They hadn't been since the 90s, I believe, since around the time you were born, Nate, or the time you started watching basketball, one of the two. And they get there. They're literally at the worst, the fourth best team in the NBA at the worst. And you fire him. Who do you get that can do better with what you have?
Well, hold on. Let me be fair in this situation, all right? There's plenty of teams that have gotten rid of coaches mid-contract. The Pistons were one of those last year.
Never fired their coach before the playoffs started.
Yeah, they fired their coach, and he was making poo-poo money because the dummies decided to pay him all that damn money. And they got what they asked for, and that's.
But he was trash, though. He's not trash. Period. Monty Williams has been a good coach. It was just the bad situation where you guys.
It wasn't the right.
But the point of the matter is, don't hype on what an organization does until you see that they didn't change it well. So the Knicks are still open to get a coach that could change that franchise and can get them to the Eastern Conference playoffs and win that and get into the championship. That could happen. Like I said, I saw this before. Another Pistons instance where Rick Carlisle, the guy that's in the championship now, was a Pistons coach for 3 or 4 years, got him to the Eastern Conference Finals a couple of times, and they got rid of him. Then they got the Larry Brown, and what happens? The next 2 years, they go to the championship. So unless you got to look at it from the Knicks organization standpoint, they might, whatever they do from this point, though, it's on them. So if they get a coach and he doesn't produce like Tibbs did, then that's on the organization. But you can't call it like that right now because they haven't made that decision yet. So let them make decision and let them trip over their own feet if that's what's going to happen. Because a lot of organizations do this every year. Every year.
I'll give you an even better example, and we can both relate to this. When the Lions fired Jim Caldwell, Lions fans were up and roar about that because he had taken to the playoffs, and they're like, well, who's going to do better than him? Because Jim Caldwell was similar to Tibbs. He got you to the dance. That was 2018. But he couldn't get you. He couldn't get you over the hump. So you bring in a guy like Dan Campbell. Well, we don't know what Dan Campbell is, but look at Dan Campbell now. We can all agree that was a heck of a move. Dan Campbell is a better coach than Jim Caldwell is in a shorter period of time. So the thing is that we have to see who will replace Tibbs. But the thing is that it is all about roster construction. And
on that note, though, the Lions did not replace Caldwell with Dan Campbell. They replaced him with Matt Patricia. So there you go.
That's right. Well,
so that was
he didn't.
Organizations will screw themselves if they don't know what they're doing.
Right.
That's the point.
And it's all about the fit. It's all about
everybody.
The fit.
When the organization changes in the front office and everybody's on the same page, you get a better production from your head coach and down. So it's whatever it is. I can't blame New York for anything right now until I see a result. If they get a coach, you go to the championship, because the Eastern Conference playoffs is already something you've been in. Win that, get to the championship, then I can say, okay, well, you got the right coach. I can understand why you got rid of Tibbs.
And the moves that they made, if you look at the lay of the land of the East, it's up for grabs. I mean, the Pacers are the best team in the Eastern Conference. Anybody can win it. Like, they're not a dominant team. Like, they're all going to be lumped together next year, especially with Tatum being out all next year too. Like, it's going to be up for grabs. So the way I look at it is New York hedged their bets and said, you know what, we're going to fire Tibbs, get a new coach. Maybe, we try to get something to get Giannis or whatever, because that's being floated around. The thing is that you're no better right now than the top 4 in the East. So
I'm gonna say right with that, as we segue to NFL, because we've got about 20 minutes left in the show. I hope that the Hornets or the Hawks are that team that grab the East next season. That's what I'm gonna say. If it's up for grabs like that, I hope that one of those two teams.
It's gonna be tough.
Are there preferably the Hornets?
Wishful thinking.
Yeah, but hey, that you just never know. It's a gamble. Yeah. All right, we got some major news and signing as we swing over to the NFL. We're going to get to the pansy news in a moment because Bistril and I talked about it for just a little bit earlier. But the Ravens are extending Rashad Bateman. Baltimore Ravens today, wide receiver Rashad Bateman got a 3-year contract, $36.75 million extension with $20 million guaranteed. So even if he goes down, they're only out of that $16 million. They're going to go ahead and cough up, they're out of 20 off the rip because he's only going to lose 16. The Raiders extend their punter, A.J. Cole, as well. Don't ask me why. 4 years, $15.8 million deal, including 11 of it guaranteed. Bears extended Joe Thuney, of course. He's the offensive lineman. He's getting another couple of years with them, 17.5 per year million. 49ers, they were extending Fred Warner. Of course, we talked about him a while back, $63 million, over 56 guaranteed million for 3 years. And of course, the Ravens did already extend Derrick Henry. Recent transactions that went down. Keelan Robinson is being claimed as a running back by the Eagles. Of course, he's coming off of waivers from the Jaguars. That was big this week. The Bills did sign defensive tackle Marcus Harris, defensive tackle that after they released Devin Brant Epps, of course, they needed somebody to come in for that, so that's who they got in there. Titans are signing wide receiver Chimere Deke, of course, 4th round wide receiver out of his rookie contract. He's officially going to be a Titan. And there's some trade rumors going on. You guys know the Hendrickson stuff is still out there, still not solidified a contract. There's speculation that not only would they actually enter into a possible trade there, but the Browns are possibly in the talks of trading one of their 4 quarterbacks. Because they got to do that anyway. It's pretty rare that a team would have 4 quarterbacks starting the season. And as you guys know, Justin Tucker has been released by the Ravens. So this is all current news and past news that we're just talking as we segue in. And the Seahawks have been urged to trade Ken Walker III. I'm shocked about that. I had him on my fantasy last year. He was pretty decent, but they're considering trading him because of his injury history. I mean, I did have to get him off my fantasy last year. Of course, with Zach Charbonnet, who's coming in, showing potential as more of a lead back for them. A lot of teams finalizing their roster now. The OTAs and stuff has started. Big news, of course, the Pansy. It's supposedly flying, I thought today,
he already signed his contract.
Pittsburgh.
He already signed it, yeah.
Okay, I tried to look. I couldn't see anything definitive. Everything just kept saying will sign. I checked everything before we went live tonight. But of course, after months of speculation, Arena Rodgers has officially signed a 1-year contract with the Steelers pending his physical. Now, y'all know he's been out there abusing psychedelics and stuff like that. I hope he got his blood clean. That's all I'm gonna say, because I know some of that stuff's got to be PED banned. A lot of people, Skip Bayless, I know people don't put a lot of stock in what he says, what just went ballistic, that the Steelers would put themselves in such a position that they would have to go take Aaron Rodgers. He was really hopeful. Will Howard had been showing real big promise at the OTAs, and Will actually said, he basically begged his team, courted this team to sign him, and they did. But this lets me know they're only giving him a year. So this is a make or break situation for Rodgers. They didn't sign him no 3 or 4 years or 5 like the Falcons did. Garbage Kirk Cousins down here and gave him $1 billion, and he's now at Home Depot buying up stuff to renovate his backyard during the OTAs instead of showing up for practice. So you guys, nobody's really shocked. We probably talk about this every week about Arena coming to somewhere. First of all, I'm glad it's over with. Second of all, the rumor about Mike Tomlin wanting him is just shocking to me.
He didn't trust Mason Rudolph, that's for sure. I don't blame him. If Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson and Will Howard are your options for quarterback for 2025, I'd be a little worried myself. Aaron Rodgers is better than all 3 of those quarterbacks right now. The reality is that the Steelers have played with worse quarterbacks and made the playoffs. So I would probably, if I'm a betting man, I'd bet that they make the playoffs, but they'll probably lose in the first round again. So that's what I would think.
And Robbie over here rolling with the flow because he was a big Mason proponent. Now all of a sudden, Aaron Rodgers in here. They start Aaron Rodgers.
He was probably the fan club, the fanboy of Mason Rudolph, because I don't think anybody else liked Mason Rudolph or trusted that guy.
And Nate, to determination to your point, no, I think that Tomlin likes Mason Rudolph, or else they wouldn't have re-signed him to come back. He did lead them. He did make the play. He did make the playoffs when he played. He had to play the whole, most of the season. I think he won like 8 games out of 13, which is fine for a quarterback that's really not the greatest quarterback in the world. But he took him there. I think everybody gives him flack for the whole Myles Garrett thing.
Every time I say Rudolph, I think about Rudolph
the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Hey, I do got breaking news though.
Yes.
The college, the House versus NCAA settlement approved. So landmark decision opens doors for revenue sharing in college athletics.
Yes. Kudos to the NCAA getting that done.
So we'll never get nobody in the NFL now.
Sure ain't, because they making billions. I know someone personally that has been to 2 NFL teams and is not signed to either one of them anymore, and is doing an endorsement for Louis Vuitton and killing it. And he was a very high-ranked, sought-after college player. And even has a Super Bowl ring because the Chiefs signed him, but he didn't suit up. They signed him like 2 weeks before they went to the Super Bowl. So he technically has a ring, even though he never even suited up for the team. Isn't that cool? But he's killing it for Louis Vuitton, like really killing it. So nobody's ever going to go in. If you get these teams that want to do NIL deals and such, it's just what it is. J-Train, what were your thoughts on, thanks for the breaking news, Strilla. What were your thoughts on the Aaron Rodgers crap?
I knew it was going to happen. It was just a matter of time. This is a guy that likely didn't want to go through minicamp, didn't want to go through OTAs, want to go take his trips, and he probably could take a trip to Egypt and not be ridiculed about it. He can go sit in the dark cave and share his thoughts with himself or with the mushrooms and everything else, and come back and play football. I think, again, in spite of all the craziness, I don't think he's the 4 MVP quarterback, but he's still better than about 80% of the starting quarterbacks in the league. And so it's going to be interesting to see what Pittsburgh does with him at the helm. as a starting quarterback, and to have a receiver like DK Metcalf. But who's on the other side? I mean, they don't have George Pickens anymore, and I mean, is Mike Williams still there?
I'm probably going to bring
What's up,
He went back to the Chargers. But they got Roman Wilson. This will be Roman Wilson's first year. They also have DK Metcalf. They have Freiermuth. They're aiming to trade for Geno Smith. So if they got
they're probably going to bring Alan. I
mean, their offense is fine. Their offensive line is healed now. Their offensive line is good. So I mean, adding, like I said, no, I'm not crazy about Rodgers either. Like the rest of the panel's not crazy about him because he's a nutcase. But whether if he brings that mentality into the game, that'll be something you got to look for. But if he comes in there about business and does his job,
he's the best quarterback in that room right now. I don't care what anybody
says. He has 248 games that he played, 5,369
I mean, come on.
Passing completions, completion percentage 65.1, over 62,000 yards. I mean, it's no doubt about it that he is the better quarterback coming in. But this is my question. Is he enough to make a substantial impact to the Steelers' playoff contention? I'm not talking about another non-losing season. Like they like to talk about, we haven't had a losing season. Yeah, but you haven't had a playoff winning season either. Is he enough to make them a playoff winning team in the postseason?
If they can protect him, yes. Because when you protect Rodgers, he can throw some of the best balls out there. Like he can spin it like nobody's business. He's not going to run anymore. So if you can protect him, yes, he can be an impactful player for that offense. If you can't protect him, they'll lose the first round.
Let me take an opportunity to let you guys know real quick. The Trailer Park Country Dennis will be on my show July 9th, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He's going to be getting ready to go into the Hall of Fame weekend in Canton, Ohio, first week of August. So he's got a new album he's released. He's a big supporter of the show. I've already got my free t-shirt that he sent me. I'll be wearing a TPC shirt July 9th. You do not want to miss it. And before I forget, next week, I'm going to have my girl on here next Wednesday. As a matter of fact, Nikki McLaughlin, Tally Jacksonville Jaguars. Everybody knows the Panthers and Jaguars open their season up together. She will be with me on next Wednesday at 9 p.m. June is a big month for ESPN. And also thanks for everybody that tuned in to watch Sports Report Deb that was on, Emmy Award winner, ESPN reporter. She was logging in live from the Rams OTAs. So shout out to her for joining me on Wednesday's show. And for everybody, let me just say this real quick, Stu, I'm sorry. For everybody who has started following me on social media because of my connection with her, thank you so much, Deb. And thank you for everybody that now knows me through her. Big shout out to them and to Renee Washington, who plugged me in with her. And I got to give a shout out to Mac, rest in heaven, who made that connection possible with Renee. It was a domino effect. And now I'm connected with Deb. So, yeah, sorry about that. I had to plug it in. Strilla, yeah, I'm sorry about that.
I lost my train of thought.
Rodgers is not going to run, what you guys were saying. Is he a big impact for this team? Band-Aid. He's a Band-Aid.
I mean, as much as I can't stand the dude, he's still a Hall of Fame quarterback. I mean, he basically has to have a decent team around him now that he's older. And to what Nate said, they got to protect him because he's not running nowhere.
I didn't know he was 40, about to be 42. I didn't know he had hit the 40 mark.
Oh man,
the reason why you got to
protect
him.
He wants to be Tom Brady so freaking bad. Expect him to start bringing people into the Steelers.
He ain't gonna never be Tom Brady.
He's got to win rings to be Tom Brady.
He's got to show leadership. He hasn't shown leadership at all to me.
Yeah.
So, and Green Bay, the Jets. I don't know what he's gonna do with Pittsburgh, but he hasn't showed either of that. So, yeah.
You agree with that, J Train?
Yeah, he's definitely not a true leader. I mean, he may lead in his own way, but he's not even in the same ilk of breath as Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't even bring that up. I mean, what I will say about Aaron Rodgers again, just to reiterate that he has a stellar first ballot Hall of Fame career. He's had that. and he can still bring some success to the Steelers. It just all depends on what they put around him. And I'm just not really excited about what they have now in the wide receiver room outside of DK Metcalf. I'll be honest with you. And
If
so,
anything, if anything, he brings stability to the room. That's really what it comes down to. He brings stability to the room, and Steeler fans can sleep a little better knowing that Mason Rudolph or Will Howard or Skylar Thompson's not going to take a snap so far this season. That's it.
What's up, Pink Fan First? She said I had an urgent matter with a
Good.
client. What's popping? Thanks so much for joining us as
Well,
always.
Pink Fan Fur.
Yeah, the lady behind all the promos could not do it without her. She is the best.
Does a great job. She's awesome.
Very, very talented. I mean,
excellent.
there's no doubt that Rodgers is decent. And what's up, Brent? Brent, you'll be coming on at the last.
What's up,
3
Brent?
minutes. He does this every show. It's almost like he comes in literally like with 3 minutes left, and then it's all of a sudden like, hi, unless he's there and nobody.
Late to the show, but never late in general.
Never.
Brent says AR plus Tomlin, two polar up. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I don't know personality wise if we're gonna be. Pink says thanks. I don't know if we're gonna be. I'm just expecting some type of off-field type of drama that no one saw coming, and I just think that's gonna overshadow. Y'all know I always talk about personal versus professionalism. And I feel like this is going to be a setup for disaster. I waited and let all you guys weigh in. I'm not keen on what he's going to do in Pittsburgh. Even with this year, I agree with, who was it, Robbie or somebody saying they put a Band-Aid. Oh, the Yinzer. That's a Band-Aid. That is a Band-Aid to keep the fans quieting down for a little bit because so much ruckus has gone on about this dude signing. It's kind of like it had to happen. They're only going to give him a year to show and prove he's definitely who he is in his own right. You can't you can't take away what this dude has brought to the game. We can't take away his contributions for each team, despite his, personality and his lack of cohesiveness with the team as a whole. But you have to give him, as they say, his flowers. But I am not bent on this. You heard it here first. Wait for the drama in Pittsburgh. Please take this receipt down, because even if I'm not on the show to talk about it when it happens at the time, because I may have, schoolwork or whatever, I will drop in whoever's hosting this show, and I have to drop in. I will drop in just to be like, yeah, y'all remember on 6/6/25 when I told you guys that this pansy was going to go full atomic? Here it is. So I'm not sold on it. I'm going to go ahead and express condolences to Steelers fans in advance. One or two things is going to happen. Either his attitude is going to mess him up, or he's going to get out there and Father Time's going to rock him on down just like they did for the Jets.
I don't know about that, Sonia, because Rodgers doesn't talk during the season. He only talks in the off season. Like during the season, he's pretty.
He doesn't talk to his teammates, period.
Well, I mean, but he leads by example. That's his type of leadership that he has.
Dude, what kind of example are you okay, Nate?
Some people lead by doing their own thing.
No,
not everybody leads by helping.
Not if you're on a team. You do your own thing when you're working independent
You'd be surprised.
projects.
You'd be surprised. There's a lot.
You don't do your own thing in the NFL when you have 51 other men on your roster.
Incorrect, dear,
that you are supposed to be. How is he a leader? How is he a leader?
Okay, well let me explain myself. There are people in the NFL that have literally come out and have been quoted as saying, "I lead by example. I don't."
What
lead
quarterback?
By being a route.
What? But yeah, they do that, but he didn't even.
He just has his own way.
He's not even around his team. What quarterback have you known that's not even around their team that makes statements like that? Name one.
The quarterback, like that makes statements.
Yeah, the leader of the freaking team. Name one.
Well, no. But the leader is Mike Tomlin. It's not Aaron Rodgers. Mike Tomlin is the leader of that room. He's the leader of that team.
He's the coach. That's totally different.
But it doesn't matter. He is the leader of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Nate,
like
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. To be honest, the Tomlin reason why he likes Rodgers is because he doesn't have to do anything with him.
Right.
I mean, as far as the game management is concerned, he's his Ben Roethlisberger right now. Right. And that's what he looks. Tomlinson is not a very good offensive-minded coach. He's a very good defensive-minded coach, but not a very good offensive-minded coach.
And Rodgers respects Tomlin.
We got less than a minute, but I'll agree. I agree with Sonia on that one. He's not a really good leader at all.
It's a septic system waiting to explode. Okay.
Well, that's nasty.
And with that, we wish you guys a great weekend. We'll be live on Sunday with the big sports show, of course, debate shows, all the good stuff the rest of the weekend. Y'all do what? Keep it gangster and not wankster.